Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Denise Salcedo and Righteous Reg. It is Wednesday, April 1st, and we got AEW Dynamite to talk about. And in fact, we had a pretty, I guess you can say, newsworthy bit come out of today's show as we build our way to AEW Dynasty. But before we get to all of that, let me introduce to you the coffee drinking, weed smoking, MILF loving, Righteous Reg.
It is your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. I wish I could get married to Nelly Furtado, but instead I am here with Denise Salcedo for your AEW Dynamite recap. And like you said, Denise, pretty noteworthy way to even start the show. We were kind of riding that show starting high for the entire Dynamite.
Yeah. Also, can you please give me credit for being a good friend? Because every time I see a picture of Nelly Furtado on Twitter, I always immediately copy, paste the link, and send it to Reg.
Absolutely. Best friend. I know when Denise is coming through with a picture, I'm like, oh, it's Nelly Furtado. It's about to hit. And it hits every time. So thank you. You do get your credit.
You see, I am a good friend, okay? I know what's up. All right. Well, we got to get into it. Point blank, Chris Jericho is back in AEW, my friends. He is not in WWE. He doesn't look to seem like he's going to WWE. And pretty much as of, I would say this morning, when reports from both F4W and Fightful came out, and we had Dave posting, we had Sean put out a Fightful Select report. After that, it was pretty much like what felt like the worst kept secret, where we were like, okay, well, they're in Winnepeg, Manitoba. Chris Jericho just trademarked Cornerstone, and now here he is. Now, of course, you can never say there's a lot to get into. We have so much to get into with this. But when I posted, I'll tell you first and foremost, when I posted my little news video on social media, there was a lot of people that were like, oh, this is an April Fool's joke. Like, this is not going to happen. There was people saying, well, if the reports are coming from here, then we're not going to believe them. You know how the internet is. There was a mixed bag, but that video is now outdated because Chris Jericho is back. And Reg, I kind of feel a little silly here because as of, a couple months ago, I was out here creating content, making videos about whether or not Chris Jericho should go to WWE. I made a whole list of Jericho and, the pros and cons of him going to WWE and, kind of really breaking that down. And now I'm sitting here with my hands in my pants because there's that's not, how do you say it?
That's not a saying.
That's not the saying. Yeah, what's the saying when you're basically just like twiddling your thumbs?
Yeah. We'll go with that. Let's do that. Your hands in your pants is not the saying.
There's a saying. What's the saying? The one when you're just like, well, I got nothing going to do, so I just, there's nothing, like I am done. Okay, whatever.
Yep.
Anyways, that's what I was trying to say. I'm left here twiddling my thumbs because, that video is now rendered moot. It doesn't matter anymore, right? Because Jericho's now in AEW. Well, back in AEW. And when he did not appear in the Royal Rumble, Reg, a lot of people really thought he was going to come out in Royal Rumble. I had DDP here on this channel saying he would bet $100,000 if Chris Jericho would show up as entrance number 10 in freaking Royal Rumble, and it did not happen. Okay, people were expecting him on that one Raw. When they came back, the first Raw. Didn't happen. Royal Rumble, it didn't happen. And as of a couple months ago, my assumption was that he would either come out at Wrestlemania or Raw After Mania, which is, I think, what a lot of people were expecting. Well, guys, it did not happen. He's back in AEW. Reg, where are you at with all of this?
It's been a roller coaster of moments with Chris Jericho here and Denise. This is going back a little bit farther than that, because for me, when they announced the Chris Jericho cruise for this year, or the last time that they did it, there was like no AEW wrestlers on it, and they had like I think there was like some WWE or TNA somebody, and I was like, that's interesting. And there was a bunch of that's interesting things that happened along the way, where if you would have put a gun to my head a month ago and said, is Chris Jericho going to WWE or you're dead? I would have been like, yes, he is. And they would have blew my brains out, because I thought this guy was on his way, Denise. It felt like it, all the moments that you described, kind of the internet rumblings. We hadn't heard about him in AEW. It felt like they said he's been gone for a year, and it doesn't feel like they were talking about him or anybody was mentioning him. So I was like, oh, this guy's probably gone somewhere else. Wrong. They started the show today. Tony Schiavone was acting like they're about to bring out Max and Kenny for their segment. Jericho came out still with Judas, Denise. Still, we don't know what Jericho is, I feel like, at this moment in AEW, because last time we saw him, he was Learning Tree. Last time we saw him, he was doing something else. Feels like he had a different song. He had the Learning Tree song, and is he going back to who he was? Is he a new person? Like, we don't know anything. He didn't really say anything in the promo, so we're kind of in the dark on that. But this is super interesting, Denise. I think we had a little bit of a conversation before the pod about Chris Jericho, just because we had heard the rumblings and we were both kind of curious as to if this was going to be real. And we kind of went through a couple of scenarios, and a couple of those scenarios, I was like, that could totally be a thing. Because like you've mentioned and brought up before, if you've read Chris Jericho's books, the bro has not been the greatest when talking about Triple H. Like, there's a couple of their very heated battles and arguments and things that are known, and he's talked about, and Triple H has talked about. So it's like, I mean, if you want to go back to WWE, there's a couple of hoops that you have to jump through. And I think we've heard about some rumblings of Punk and Chris Jericho not having the greatest relationship, and there might have been some stuff in AEW, and who knows what Cody and Chris Jericho, like, going back to WWE, Denise, isn't just Vince is here still and he likes you and he's going to bring you back. Now it's like, this person has to like you, and you got to play this politics, and how did you leave, and what did you say? And there's just kind of so much that goes into it. I myself thought Jericho would trump all that. I thought that the way that WWE has been moving recently, the way that they've been doing these deals, Nick Khan is out. If he wants to get you, he's going to get you. And the fact that they didn't get Chris Jericho has me, I'm like, what? How did this even happen? Like, did they not want him? What went on in these last couple of months here, Denise?
I think there's a lot. And of course, now we got to say this, like, here and I, Reg, are making theories and assumptions. Okay. Like, we don't know what the fuck is legitimately going on or anything like that. So this is just theory. So, you kind of brought up a lot of what you and I were talking about via text, where I remember like thinking to myself immediately, like, I don't know exactly like how, many years have gone by since Jericho wrote about Triple H in his book. Like, that's been many years now, but I do not know what their relationship is like now. Is there a relationship? Are they, just on good terms? I don't know. But I remember when I thought about like the first time that the possibility that Jericho would go to WWE, I thought, oh my God, I was like, things are so different now with Triple H in charge. But then I thought to myself, okay, well, if CM Punk could go back to WWE, then I don't see why Chris Jericho could go back to WWE. So it did cross my mind, the Triple H stuff and whether or not they were on good terms. But then the CM Punk stuff came in, and I thought, like, well, never say never. So he probably will. Right. Also, during this time period, I feel like we were seeing so many wrestlers go to WWE where it felt like, man, maybe kind of right now their side feels like a little fuller in terms of like the war of who's getting who and the perception of people jumping from place to place. And I kind of felt like WWE was sort of winning in that regard. And I thought, oh my God, like if Jericho leaves AEW, like, here's the thing. I 100% get that the fans in AEW, for the most part, they've been over Jericho for a while. Let's not forget that prior to Jericho being gone, by the way, the last he was here was April 2025. So he was gone for an entire year. An entire year. Now, today, of course, because they were in Winnepeg, Manitoba, people were cheering and singing his songs. I'm curious to see what the reception is in other cities and other places. Based off of just kind of what I'm seeing here online, I'm kind of seeing some people are like, I don't really care about Jericho being back, et cetera, et cetera. But I feel, though, that the part, like, for me, we're wondering why, right? So from what we know, Fightful had put out saying that he did have conversations in recent months with WWE. So there were conversations. They put that out there. However, they said, no creative was ever made. And then they added the fact that, he had been talking with AEW again. So what I'm wondering here is, money-wise, we've had this conversation about, TKO, and TKO is the ones that are, saying, hey, this person gets this money, this person gets that money, or whatever, all of that stuff. So I'm wondering, okay, that could be another theory. Was the money not there? We don't know. Like, say what you want about Jericho, but he's been in this game for a long time.
Absolutely.
And he's dealt with, all sorts of businesses, not just in wrestling, but also outside of wrestling. So I'm wondering, like, did something kind of go on with that? Maybe he didn't maybe the offer really wasn't ideal. I don't know. That's another theory on top of the theory that you threw out about relationships. Okay. Triple H, CM Punk. Is he friends with Cody? I don't fucking know.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows
all
anything.
These theories. Now, the other thing that I'm wondering too is, Jericho has been with AEW from the very beginning. He was one of those names that really helped AEW, take off. And I almost wonder if maybe he was like, you know what? I want to have a sense of loyalty to this place.
Yeah.
I'm actually happy here. His relationship with Tony Khan, from what I've seen on the press conferences, they seem to get along just fine. So that's another thing. Maybe he does feel loyalty to AEW and what AEW represents and what they started in the world of pro wrestling. So that's my other kind of theory.
Yeah.
So there's all these different theories: financial, relationships, personal, morale. I don't fucking know. There's a bunch of ways you can go about it.
I like that a lot, Denise. There could be that sense of he started with this. He said that this was going to be a revolution. He said that AEW is going to be an alternative, and he took a chance. You guys coming to AEW from WWE when you're kind of tenured in, or like you have this kind of what they think who you are as a wrestler connection to WWE. He took a huge chance coming over here, and that could also still play a role of them being like, you went over there, you were doing this, you were acting like that. These politics could still play a role, but I could totally see him looking at the landscape of AEW, how it's moving. These young guys, Max is on top, Kenny is in the world title picture, Ospreay is here, Kyle Fletcher, all these guys, and being like, I kind of still want to be a part of this. I like this revolution. I kind of like still trying to impart my veteran wisdom on these young guys. So that totally could be another reason why he's still here, wanting to see out what he started with. Like, because it doesn't have to be automatic of like, I want to go back to WWE, because like if we're talking accolades, Denise, he has a lot of them already. Like, it's like, do you want to just go back and get a big payday? Do you want to go back and get another WrestleMania moment? Like, do you want to, is that what you want? And it could not be like, he could be like, no, I still want to create new moments in AEW. I still have something to do over here. And then there's the classic AEW schedule. He could still go do Fozzy, and he could still go and do all these other endeavors while still being a top star. And AEW offers him that alternative. So it makes sense why he weighed all of his options. Of course, WWE is going to come with the big offer because it's fucking Chris Jericho. But I could see him sitting back and being like, I like this last 6-7 years of being able to have this kind of different freedom and exist in a different kind of plane in AEW. Because you go back to WWE and there might not be any of this stuff that we're talking about, Denise, but then there's a big chance that there is all this shit that he goes back into, and all these relationships that he thought he was done with could start being crazy again. So there's just so many things kind of connected to it, but he's back. And for him to only say in the promo, Denise, I'm home, like, what does that mean?
Right. And I remember when he said that, I was kind of like breaking it down. I'm thinking to myself, he's kind of saying a lot with those two words, I'm home. Okay, I know he's in Winnipeg, but I think he meant that as like, AEW is my new home. I know I had this massive career in WWE, but hey, AEW is my place. But now here's my question though. There are people that are like, oh, Jericho's here, blah, blah, blah. He's still with us. We thought we were going to pass him on to WWE, right? There is that audience. And so my question is, what can Jericho do to kind of maybe get back on the most people's like good graces? Or is that like over with?
I don't think it's over. Chris Jericho's a smart wrestler, Denise. And like when he was getting that shit online, he knew it. And so I don't know if he like analyzed what was going on, because like I think you make a good point. A lot of people are still going to be turned off because the last time they saw Chris Jericho, he left a bad taste in their mouth, and just leaving on vacation for a year doesn't change what people remembered. So I think that because there was a couple of bright moments, I think, while he was ROH champion, where it's like, if you utilize Chris Jericho for who he truly is, this legendary figure that's done all these things and been all these places, that a lot of these young guys genuinely want to wrestle and genuinely want to take knowledge from, and you let him do that, I think there's a place for him. And I think there's a place for him to get back to where fans love who he is. But if it's 20-minute learning tree segments again, Denise, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, no, they can't do that. So that's what I'm thinking to myself. Okay, what can be done to get back out there? Because this is one of the things you and I were laughing about, that, a lot of people know that Chris Jericho is like literally one of my favorite fucking wrestlers ever. Like, it's Jericho, Punk, and Kurt Angle. Like, those are my boys right there. And it got to the point where it was so bad that whenever we talked about like favorite wrestlers, I was like, Chris Jericho, but not the stuff that he's currently doing right now with the learning tree. Like, I had to do a whole ass explanation, like, yes, I'm a big Chris Jericho fan, but hey, just so you know, I don't like the stuff that he's doing with the learning tree. That's how bad it kind of got with that. So I hope that if we do get, because I'm pretty sure Jericho's probably going to do something, with a stable of some sort. I don't know. I hope it doesn't become a thing where, we had the running joke of, the Jericho vortex of people getting stuck there. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want the silly hokiness that we got with freaking the learning tree. I think the best way to utilize Jericho in AEW is to... I honestly think that he just needs to go out, and I know he's a little older, but he just needs to go out there and remind people like, hey, man, these are the matches that you guys used to like, that you guys used to get into, that you guys used to enjoy, that he can still go out there and have fresh matchups with a lot of guys that he has not wrestled with yet. Jericho is a very creative person. Let's see that. Let's see that be utilized with guys that maybe don't have the best creative, whether it's them being on the same side together or them being on opposite sides together. As a Jericho fan, I want to get to a place where I'm not ashamed of having to say that.
No, you're right though. He should use his powers for good this time, Denise. Like, interact with people that we don't say are stuck in the Jericho vortex. Interact with people for just the right amount of time, and really, help them get to that next level. Because I think with what we've seen in the last couple of years with retirements and Sting and Cena and AJ Styles and all these people, just being in a feud or being in a match with these legendary figures can do something for these wrestlers. And I still think Chris Jericho represents that. He's a legend out here. And if you put some of these younger guys, some of these Kyle Fletcher, some of these guys, but don't let them get stuck in these stories, and I want to recruit you and I want to do all this shit, and it's just like, I want to try to be better than you and try to win championships, I think it could work out.
Hit it and quit it and keep it going. Because for example, like Hangman Page and Jericho, Hangman Page and Kyle Fletcher, like you just mentioned, like right when you said that, I thought to myself, like, oh, I would love to see Jericho kind of approach him and be like, hey, I used to be that cocky bastard too.
Yes.
Have a match. Cool. Two
Not,
matches.
I want to recruit you. I've been watching you from the back, but like, hey, I used to be as badass as you, and I want to prove that I still am, type deal. You know what I mean?
Right. Something, I don't know, something along those lines is, I think, where, we can maybe use more of that. So look, and then the other question that I have, and you guys can tell me how you feel about this, is that, because, for example, Cody was one of the, he was one of the guys that was, the reason that we're seeing, AEW, him, the Bucks, Kenny, all these people, right?
Yeah.
And he left. He's in WWE now. And to hardcore AEW fans, now I get it, they were over Cody at this point. But here's my question is, do you not get maybe some brownie points for not jumping ship and sticking it out with the place that you're with now?
I think there should be brownie points. I think there should be some sort of appreciation for someone like Chris Jericho, even if you don't love Chris Jericho, to kind of stay over here and fight the good fight. And like I was saying, the mission statement that AEW had when this started in 2019, to still be like, yeah, dude, I'm still over here. I still want to rock. I still want to be with these young people. I still want to do this. And like I said, there's no way that WWE didn't have a nice bag. They didn't promise him some DVDs, not DVDs this days, but like documentaries and like A&E specials and all these things, to be like, you can come out and get that old superstar treatment, or do you want to continue over here? And also, I did bring up John Cena. Jericho, like we're talking about with Triple H, Jericho could have watched that and been like, what's my legacy gonna be? What if I go back there, am I gonna get treated like this? Like, where do I stand on the kind of tail end of my career, how they're gonna still look at me? Like, are they gonna think I'm a fucking joke and play me like some sort of fool if I go back over there? Like, there's just
Roman Reigns gonna be calling him old.
I'm saying, am I gonna be calling
Gunther's
old
gonna legend killer him?
fucking grandpa
Oh, no,
when I
career
come
killer.
over
My
here?
bad.
Gunther's gonna try to choke me out. Like, there's so many things that kind of are looming over this. This is a big deal, though, Denise. I think that Jericho over there was going to represent something big. I mean, they could do the Hall of Fame thing. They can do all this. To see him, because it feels like we're starting from not the beginning, but we're starting from a different place. And we have no idea which direction at all this is going to go. I think it's pretty exciting.
All right, we got Anthony Giuliano here. Thank you, Anthony. He says, what kind of equipment do you use for your in-person interviews? Hey, Anthony, it's a great question. I've actually started to link some of that stuff on my videos, and I'm going to link it here on this video too, on the video version, not the live version, but I will link it. I use a Sennheiser mic. I forget the details of it. And then for my camera, I use I should remember this, Sony Canon, one of those. I'm pretty sure. No, it's a Sony. It's a Sony mirrorless 4K something. I'll put it here on the video. Thank you, Anthony. We got Infamous Raider Loco says Denise already brought back Denise showing Regis. Oh, I know, I did actually.
Unbelievable.
I did. We got Anthony here. It says, Denise, do you get any crazy fans like WWE do? I mean, not like that, like not like what happened with Stephanie, but I have had my fair share of interesting experiences. I've had quite a few of interesting experiences. But here's the truth, though. The good outweighs the weird ones or the interesting ones.
Yeah. No, it's mostly just like weird comments or DMs. Nothing like over the line, right?
Right. We got Jacob Tatum here who says, I want Ospreay to lose to John, mostly at Dynasty, so badly so he can focus on MJF's title, assuming he retains over Kenny Omega and Darby Allin. Honestly, Jacob, I am 1000% on board with you. I really want to see Ospreay defeat John Moxley at Dynasty. Do you think it's going to be that cut and clear?
I don't know if they want Ospreay to have that championship. You know what I mean? So, like, is the belt on the line? I don't know. Maybe I'm stepping out of line here, but I think the victor, if Ospreay beats John Moxley and becomes the Continental Champion, I don't know if they really want that. So I think because
it is for the Continental
Championship. It is for the Continental Championship. And, like, do they want him to win that belt? I think it's going to kind of play with the story that we were talking about earlier with the Ospreay Impact match, Denise, of like, maybe Ospreay should have lost to have some doubt, because now there's no doubt. He's like, I came back and I hit the throttle 1,000 and I fucking got a victory. And like, should Moxley be that victory of like, there's too much dip on my chip at this moment and I haven't gotten back to it yet?
There's never too much dip on a chip, but let me tell you. Okay, dip it up. No, but seriously, no, I do see that because you're right. Okay, he gets the Continental Championship, and then what? How do we work our way to the AEW World Championship?
Right.
And ain't no way they're keeping John Moxley without a belt. They love having gold around John Moxley's waist. Come on, guys. This is AEW. Y'all know what y'all signed up for. So anyways, no, in regards to the match today with Will Ospreay and Pac, by the way, you and I were talking about how it kind of felt like at a certain moment, like, damn, Pac, you did all these things and you didn't win the match. I love Will Ospreay. Everyone knows that. I kind of felt with the way they worked this match, I thought Pac should have kind of taken that. He kind of looked a little silly not winning this.
This is going to be funny that I use this word to describe this match, but it was a tad bit, I'm saying a tad bit, don't attack me, overbooked. There's too many. There's like,
I thought you were going to say something else.
I would never.
I was getting the graphics already.
Yeah, here you go. No, but they like, Pac attacked him before the match and they hit him with the brain buster. And then the whole match, he's pretty much dominating him. Ospreay's getting some stuff in, but Pac's like working on his shoulder, doing all this. He hits his finish, the Black Arrow to Ospreay's back. And then the Brutalizer, like he's doing every Pac greatest hit, like moves we've seen him beat other people for before. And Ospreay's just like, Super Ospreay? Like, wait, he came back from the brain buster on the ramp. He came back from getting all these beat downs, the Black Arrow and the Brutalizer, and he still wins. I'm like, wait.
He was still able to stand up too with freaking Pac, a big ass, grown ass man.
He stood up with Pac,
but
man.
then he fell down. He fell down again, and I'm like, all right, guys, just give it a Pac. We like Pac too. It's okay.
I'm
it's
saying,
okay.
And like I'm number one Ospreay guy, big fan of him. I think that I'm not super mad at him winning the match. I'm just super mad at how he won the match because it made Pac look kind of silly. Like, damn, Pac threw a fucking bus at this guy and he just moved out of the way.
Yeah, and then afterwards they just had the Death Riders. You won't believe it. They came out and attacked Will Ospreay. What? The Death Riders attacking somebody and getting involved in a match? Never, Denise. I don't believe that.
Okay, so I do. Now that you bring that up, that brings up a great point in my mind. They made Pac look kind of silly by doing all that and losing to Will Ospreay, but then they immediately made Will Ospreay look silly because he's going after the Death Riders and he has zero friends. He ain't got one homie that came out to fight him. There's 6 people out here trying to beat his ass. They got about to Pillmanize him, and he's fighting without any friends. He hasn't talked to anybody to try to help him. He ain't done nothing. He's just out here getting his ass beat, and I don't know if that's the best way to go after the Death Riders. We've seen this multiple times, so I don't know where I stand.
Even Kenny Omega had someone standing up for him. He had freaking Speedball.
Yeah, Kenny's like, look, I got a friend at least to say some shit here. So what's going on here? But regardless of that, the match was awesome. Ospreay is back, and if this is the version that we get, if this isn't 100% Ospreay, like he's saying, like everyone else is saying, this is enough. Like however much percent he is at this point, we're good to go. We are back. We are on the road to All In, and I'm super excited about it.
We got, this is a good one. We got Jacob here who says, who's a better co-host between Denise or Phil, Reg? You're on the spot, buddy.
Better co-host?
I'm about to call Phil so we could both be on the line.
No, listen, there's not better. It's like a parent saying who's their which one of their kids that they're like better. It's just these two people represents totally two different things. Phil and I are black men, so that's that. We got
damn, so right then and there, I'm just excluded.
Dreadheads, kind of the same kind of upbringing, hip hop, basketball. There's a lot of things connected to that. The flow is different. How we talk is different. Denise,
what are you trying to say, Reg? I'm not cool enough.
I'm not saying that. I'm getting to you. I'm getting to you. Denise is like the most fun that I have doing podcasts. Like I just let loose.
So you're saying Phil is boring?
Oh my God! Stop saying stuff every time that I say stuff. Leave me out of this. Saying. Denise is like the Mexican homegirl that I came up with in Bakersfield. Like I know her type. This is like I just vibe with this person. I'm a type.
I'm just every generic Mexican girl.
Oh my God, yes, dude. You brought up hot Cheetos in this podcast.
I love how nothing Reg says can get him a win. Nothing.
I can't win. Truth is, I can't win over here. Listen, okay. Damn, I love both of my friends. They're the best. I wouldn't if I wasn't doing podcasts with them, I wouldn't be doing podcasts.
My favorite. Okay, so like I'm breaking the fourth wall here. So we have our group chat, right? It's me, Will, Reg, and Phil.
Grapsado.
Yeah. So it's Grapsado. Now, my favorite thing is the side conversation. So we have the main conversation where everybody's discussing things. Yeah. For the longest time, I've had sometimes every now and then me and Reg will like talk about what's going on in the group chat. Mm-hmm. Well, like a few weeks ago, I had my first Denise and Phil side conversation, and we were talking about you.
Me. Yeah, wow.
I was like, wow, and then I'll have side conversations with Will.
Absolutely, yeah. Now you have side conversation with everybody. You're just the side conversation girl.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, what are they saying about me? What other side conversations are going on?
Side combo, you get side combo too. Don't act like you're just in the clear. Don't act like you're just doing the only side combo.
You think I don't know that? I know that. There's probably days where Reg hits up Phil and it's like, oh, Denise,
everybody's side combo, and baby, like, oh, here comes Denise again. Oh, look at her.
I knew it. You think I don't know? Anyway,
shout out to our group chat. So fun. The funniest group chat, you guys.
Yeah, my favorite one. Did you ever tell Phil about the time that you put him on the spot?
When? What did I put him
The
on
time
spot?
that we were all in the group chat and I was like, yo, Will and Phil are talking so much. And you were like, yeah, and Phil's in the bathroom, so he's going to be there for a whole
Oh,
while.
yeah, I forgot. We're supposed to forget about that.
I think about that all the time.
Shout out to my homie. I did not mean to put him on blast, but
Now everybody knows.
I love the
That's
group
so
chat because
funny.
it like randomly I'll look at my phone and it'll be like 82 messages and it's just Will and Phil just like battling it out. That's like my favorite part about it. It's like recapping. I'm like, I love this. I love it here.
Yeah, it's so funny. All right, we got Hassan Butler here. Says they wouldn't let Jericho retire Gunther.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy.
That's why. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Hassan. We got Jacob Tatum here. Says, when do you, Reg, expect Mercedes to return? Because as a fan of her, I miss her doing her thing in the ring. Plus, what would you and Reg bring to a cookout? I would try to bring chips and guac.
Boring.
You'll be fucking eating my chips and guac, though. I bet you your ass would be eating them.
Oh, man. I don't know. My favorite side dish would be baked beans. So I'd probably bring baked beans. What if I just develop my own baked bean recipe? Gum. Mercedes, I thought, listen, Jacob, I don't know. I thought she could have been back at Revolution. Dynasty's coming up here, Denise.
Yeah,
It's
I was gonna say Dynasty
next Sunday. Like, I guess we could get like a show return. She confronts somebody, but who's she gonna confront? I don't know. I don't know exactly what the plan is because I think we talked about it earlier. I think a lot of us kind of expect her to lead into the babyface role eventually, challenge for one of these major championships. But I don't know how they reintroduce her back into the roster with no championships. Like, what's the story they're going to tell? It's an interesting time, but
or what if she comes back and she has more of, because remember the last times we were seeing her, she was kind of having a meltdown over all of the championship belts that she had lost.
Yeah.
So what if that's where we pick up from, where she comes back and she's like, okay, so I had a little bit of an issue, you know how she does her promos, what if she does something like that, where she comes back and she's like, you know what? This happened. I'm not proud of it. So now I got to prove now I got to come out here and take what's rightfully mine and what should have been mine from the very beginning, the AEW World Championship.
Yeah, because that's
I don't write, guys.
I mean, that's kind of why I feel she's gonna start to go towards the baby face, because I think people are gonna have some sympathy even when she comes out and it's like, I lost all my championships.
Are they though? I don't know. Mercedes doesn't get sympathy like that. She's more of a natural heel right now.
I know.
Who roots for a CEO, Reg?
Yeah, I mean, you're making some points here. Nobody roots for the CEO.
No, that is not a character you root for.
Nobody roots for the CEO. Nobody roots for the CEO. But I think there's a story to tell with her getting back to, because I think she was never going to win the AEW World Women's Championship with all those titles. That's a single title. The story that Toni Storm was telling when she was in the feud with Mercedes, being like, when it's this belt, it's only this belt. I think Mercedes is going to tell that same kind of story. So I think we are at a good place to get to there. Double or Nothing's in a big stadium show. You got to have her back before that. So I'd expect in the next month or two,
Thank you, Jacob. We also have Daniel Robledo. What's up, Daniel? He says, what would a world be if Roman Reigns leaves after WrestleMania to wrestle Kenny Omega at Wembley in August? He still hasn't re-signed. Also, AJ can technically go too with a Legends contract. AEW can beat WWE ratings. Well, just a heads up, it was around this time last year that it was actually the weekend of WrestleMania where Roman came out and said he had signed a new he had said that his contract was up in 2026. I don't know when he said, but he did say, though, that he was going to wrestle for about 2 more years after that. But you know how it is, Reg, with wrestlers. They say, oh, I'm only going to wrestle till this, and then they wrestle way more than that.
Absolutely. I don't really see him leaving, if that's a thing. Like, I feel like if he's going to continue to wrestle, he's going to sign another contract with WWE, because why would he? He's the top guy over there. You don't leave the number one guy over here to be anything else. That just doesn't make sense. So, but it would be cool to see him somewhere else.
The movie world, like if he leaves WWE, he's not leaving WWE for AEW. Like he would leave WWE like for, to really blow up in Hollywood, like The Rock and John Cena. You saw how he was bonding with Jimmy Fallon? He was like, I can be here every week promoting my movies.
Listen, fan of the guy, but like, are we being real about this?
Have you seen what he looks like? Do you see like the women and the gays dropping over for him? Like they're like, damn, like he's hot. He's on the hubba hubba list.
To be the guy though?
That's what Hollywood want. Hollywood wants a specimen like that.
The issue is he's talking all this shit about old man Punk. In Hollywood, you're an old man, dude. You're 40. And like if you don't get
but in Hollywood there's also old roles. You know, you can be like a little old man.
Those old roles have been
old.
there already though. Like when Brad Pitt plays an old role, it's because he's been in the game for 30 fucking years. And I don't know if he's gonna go in as this old guy to become that.
You never know. You never know. I mean, look at The Rock. He's
stick to wrestling, 53. G. I'm trying to help him.
The Rock is 53.
Yeah, and he's been in doing movies for 25 fucking years at this point. But yeah, stick to wrestling, G. Hollywood ain't got nothing for you.
You don't know that. I'm rooting for his Hollywood dreams. I want to be like, go, Roman, Denise, you can do it.
I'm a movie guy. I know movies.
I'm sorry. How do you not see a spot for Roman in Hollywood?
Because I'm a movie guy. Like, okay, listen, because they compare him to a guy. If he walks into an audition and Jason Momoa's there, he's not getting the role over Jason Momoa. 0%. Yeah,
but like, can Jason Momoa hit a Superman punch?
Yes.
Sorry, I was trying to think of something. Yeah, well, can Jason Momoa go out there and cut a promo? Can Jason Momoa do it in one take with a live audience watching?
Probably.
I don't fucking know. I don't really know. I haven't seen that many Jason Momoa movies, so I can't even tell you. I'm out here shooting on Jason Momoa, and I don't even know nothing about him.
You haven't watched The Wrecking Crew?
I don't watch The Wrecking Crew, no. And I didn't
watch
Aquaman.
It's Jason Momoa and his brother is also another very famous wrestler, Big Dave Batista. It's a really good movie.
I don't. Is it like an action?
It's an action movie. I don't know if you
I'm not really into action movies. No, I'm not into action movies.
That's why you never seen a Jason Momoa movie, because he makes action movies.
No. I don't know why. I just don't. All right. Anyways, thank you so much, Daniel.
You bitch that whole Roman Reigns thing, and you're not even going to watch the movies that he's going to go on to make?
I might. I'm a mark like that. I'll show up if a wrestler's in it.
You would. Mark girl.
Yeah. Like I remember I watched See No Evil with Kane for my birthday week.
Your birthday?
I watched Doom with Triple H in it.
I was going to say, did you watch The Chaperone?
Fuck, did I watch? No, I didn't watch The Chaperone.
See, you didn't go that far. You're like,
I didn't go that far.
Yeah.
No. But I did watch a lot of The Rock's early movies. I've seen a couple of John Cena's movies. Mm-hmm. Who else? I think that's it, right? Like I've seen like quite a few.
I was going through because they whatever movie service I was on had a bunch of wrestler movies. They had like The Miz, because The Miz has done a bunch, and like Ted DiBiase was in one of the.
Oh, I haven't seen those.
I'm like, there was a time. Yeah, there was a Marine spinoff, and I was like, there was a time when they were putting all their wrestlers in movies. I guess when they had the studio, that's why they don't do it anymore. But I don't know if wrestling's like that anymore. I guess Tiffany Stratton just said she wanted to be a movie star. I guess people still do have those aspirations.
Yes. Hassan Butler here says that he should put over Bill and Brian Keith again. Oh, Hassan, no way. I think if that happens, everyone's immediately going to hit the brakes.
Absolutely. Like, yeah. I think he's going to have a faction, but I don't want him to. I think he should just be by himself at this point, but.
Grapple Geekery says, I'll appreciate him not getting on commentary. Do you like Jericho on commentary?
I don't hate him. I don't.
Yeah, me either. I don't mind it.
Yeah,
I don't mind it.
I kind of like him because he adds a certain kind of analyst, but I understand.
Yeah, we got Grapple Geekery here. It says, way off topic. I wanted to ask Denise if she's heard of The Warning, 3 Mexican sisters who play heavy metal. I'd love to have them do AEW Lucha theme. No, I don't really know about heavy metal, so it's a little bit out of my genre, you know?
That sounds hard, though.
Yeah, it does. It sounds super cool. Thank you, Grapple Geekery. We got Ten Ruza here who says, love Cody talking about AEW in Mania season. Crazy. Well, he's always asked about it, like nonstop.
Like he's gonna. That's what's funny because people are like, he's still bringing it up this many years later. I'm like, it's bringing it up because somebody's asking about it. But,
right. And people, I kind of feel bad. I'm like, people are asking him.
And the clickbaiters are just gonna go for that. So that's why we always hear about it, you know?
Yep. We got the Black 772 here who says Sheeta answers Willow's TBS challenge.
Spoilers.
Yo, that's a great prediction. I would not be surprised. I think that's very possible. Where is the show? It's for tomorrow, right?
I think they're filming it today.
Oh, okay. So it would be
from a double shot.
Honestly, we haven't seen Sheeta in a really long time, and I could totally see this happening.
I love Sheeta, huge Sheeta fan. I've been wanting to see her back, so yeah.
Thank you, the Black. We got Ten Ruza here. It says, first Jericho, next Brick Breaker, and a J. Look, I don't think so. I don't know. I've given up, Reg. I mean, I've given up on this. I'm tired of people asking Tony Khan because he always gives like pretty much like the same runaround answer about Britt. I'm tired of it. At this point, I don't even want to speculate. If it happens, great, and I'm gonna be like, yay, nice to see her back. But I don't even want to speculate.
If we were, we would, I think. Like, because what are you waiting for? Like, if there's like losing Tony Storm.
Oh no, is it me or is it Reg? Oh no. Guys, is it me or is it Reg? Someone froze, but I don't know if it's me or Reg. Ah! Oh, it's Reg. Okay, everybody's saying it's Reg. Okay, Reg froze. All right. I don't think he's realized that he's frozen. So let me message him. You froze. I love how you froze like this. Reg was about to go all in on this and he just froze. Ten Ruza's question broke Reg. All right, so oh, look, there he's gone. I was about to play all of these jokes on Reg right now because I was just gonna start talking like if he was there. And I'm like, okay. Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, we'll wait for Reg to come back and answer that question. I'm sure he'll be back in a second. Either that or the feds took him over in fucking Oakland or something. All right, in the meantime, I'll come back to your question, Ten Ruza, so we can finish that off. But we do got McTaru here who says, no sympathy for Mercedes. Womp, womp, womp. Yeah, it's very hard, I think, to get sympathy for Mercedes because, like I said, that CEO character, and you're bragging about money, that's really hard to get behind. Thank you, McTario. We got Gotham Guy. What's up, Gotham Guy? He says, I know it's a small thing to point out, but this was one of the few times where the Death Riders looked really menacing by standing over Ospreay and Mott's not taking the cheap shot and giving him advice. Look, they're definitely the Death Riders are never gonna end to my displeasure, but I want to agree with you. Honestly, I really want to agree with you, and I think for the Death Riders, they looked menacing. For me, I just don't see it, guys. I have a really, really hard time buying the Death Riders as menacing, and that's been my biggest issue for a while. Also, Reg just said right now that his computer just turned off for some reason. Okay, so I'm assuming he's gonna turn it back on. His battery probably died, so he'll be back in a second. It's really, really hard for me to see the Death Riders as menacing. So if anybody does see them as menacing, I applaud you for it because I just can't get there. I wish I could see what you saw today, Gotham Guy, but all I see is just a bunch of guys that are constantly doing the same thing over and over again in every single feud, in every single match. And that for me just isn't doing anything. I'm just not a fan. Sorry. Don't worry. When Reg comes back, I'm sure he'll be out here shilling the Death Riders. Thank you, Gotham Guy. We also got Ben Sneffer here. It says Roman doesn't have movie star charisma. He's too boring and soft spoken. I think he does. He's kind of gives he's really good at giving a-hole vibes. And I like that. Or there's times where I think he's got a comedic bone in him. And I've seen it in his promos. So I think he does have that. Thank you, Ben. We got the Black here. It says it's not a prediction. It's what happened. Oh, no spoilers. The Black, what is going on? Are they shooting this right now? I didn't realize that collision was happening. I didn't realize collision was happening right now. So anyways, thank you for the super chat. And we'll wait here for Reg because this guy just decided to ditch us. But in the meantime, though, I do want to go ahead and kind of talk a little bit more about what else happened. So I'm texting Reg, hurry up. All right, so let's kind of go a little bit over what happened too. When Reg comes back, we'll talk about MJF and Kenny Omega. The other thing that I do want to get into, though, is let's talk about the women's match for a second here, because we had Tekla, Julia, and Sky Blue versus the Mina Shirakawa and the Brawling Birds, with Mina and the Brawling Birds getting the win here. I actually thought there was a bunch of moments throughout this match that I enjoyed primarily. I love seeing Sky Blue and Mina Shirakawa work together. I thought that was very pleasing. I think anytime the Brawling Birds were in there, we were getting some good moments during this matchup. I'm really enjoying what they're doing with the Brawling Birds. That's been one of those things where I feel like they kind of lucked into something with making them into a tag team, and it's really, really starting to show. We got a couple of comments here. Let's see what we got. We got Ben Sneffer, who says, Reg told me you have Death Riders t-shirts. Abso-freaking-lutely not. And if I get one in those freaking AEW All Elite crates, I will burn it. I will burn it. Thank you, Ben. We got Reg back here, actually. Let's see. He's coming back. He's making a grand entrance. We turned the lights out. Reg, what the hell happened to you?
Hello, can you hear me? Can you see me?
They took you? Did they take you? Were you kidnapped?
They took me. They came and tooketh me. No, I got my charger. I got 2 chargers and one's broken, so it just turned my computer off.
So do you want to finish answering Ten Ruse's question? Because you were about to make like
I was
a whole ass point.
Mid thing talking about this.
You're going to have to start from the beginning, bro, because I don't remember what you said.
I was just saying, if we were going to see Britt Baker again, I feel like we would see Britt Baker again. Like, there's a reason that we're not. Like I said,
but what's the reason? We don't know.
Losing, we have no idea what the reason is. Like, we don't. They haven't said anything. I don't know nothing. Nobody said anything. But I was saying, like, losing a big star like Toni Storm so recently and needing to fill spots and fill voids, we would have brought her back already at this point. Like, I think there's a place for a big star that represents something like Britt Baker, and the fact that we haven't seen her at all has to mean something. Like, what's going on here? And I think Anna Jay might be WWE bound at this point. I'd try it out. If I were her, if I was in Anna Jay's place and I was who I was, I would try it over there.
Really? But you don't feel... See, here's the thing is I'm very familiar with the women that they have over there.
You do. You are.
And I see who they have over there. And I think it's one of those things where here's the thing, right? There's two ways to look at it. One, she's been with AEW for so long, so she's already know what she's going to kind of get. She's kind of like Will Hobbs in a way, where it's like you've already been there, done that in AEW. The only thing you got is a risk. You could only take a risk. You could only take a chance and see what happens in WWE.
Yes.
There are a lot of people, I hate to say this, there are a lot of people that are very similar to Anna Jay over on the WWE side and on the NXT side. And because of that, I kind of feel like she would have to really kind of change things to like find a way to stand out. And I feel like I've just seen a lot of the girls that are at a certain level. And that's where I'm wondering, like, okay, where is Anna Jay going to fit in? Like what path is she going to carve for herself to stand out and compete against this roster that is very, very jam-packed here? And we're not just talking about the Raw and SmackDown. I'm talking NXT and those girls that they are working towards bringing up. Because if you ask me, like, is she going to be better than, some of the other people that I see on a weekly basis? Maybe it also doesn't help that I see some of these other girls more consistently than I have Anna. Mm-hmm. So I'm more familiar with them. But I'm just saying that I feel that the competition is tough.
I think that Anna is a better worker than a bunch of girls over there, but will she get lost in the shuffle? Because it comes down to what you're saying, Denise. There's kind of a lot of Anna Jay clones over there. Like, she's going to be like the sixth one that has this look and kind of wrestles this style. So it's like, is she going to stand out if she goes over there more than she would stand out if she was featured on AEW TV? Now, that might get us into a different conversation, Denise, because I did ask earlier about this little drama with Willie Mack.
Yes, that's the part that, I wanted to talk about that.
So it's like, Anna Jay could be going every week to AEW to be like, put me on TV. Can I get an opportunity? Can I get this? And they're telling her no, they're icing her out. We don't know anything.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Willie Mack. So basically, Willie Mack came out today during an interview that he was basically talking about how he's constantly, calling and asking for, I guess, for the past, 2 years, I think he said. He was calling and asking, like, hey, do you guys need me? Do you guys need me? Like, is there a match opportunity that I can get? And I guess he was kept being told no, that there is nothing for you. And apparently now he's back at a tier 0 contract where it's per appearance instead of a guaranteed actual paycheck. And honestly, this really bummed me out, Reg, because okay, Willie Mack is someone, first of all, that I've been a fan of for a very, very long time. I think, Reg, you and I feel like Willie Mack was probably one of those wrestlers that you and I first bonded over, where we were like, oh yeah, we're like those random, really big Willie Mack fans, right?
Absolutely.
Like, he's a really great
California
wrestler. Right. And I've been seeing him for years on the indie scene. Like, he's a guy, I say this all the time. If he's on the card if he was announced on a card for an indie show, I would go to that show because Willie was on there. So this broke my heart because I remember when he first got the opportunity with AEW, I think it was on an LA show, actually. I think I was there for that. And I remember Willie getting the opportunity, and I thought to myself, fuck yeah, man. Like, Willie's getting this opportunity with AEW. Like, this is huge, man. I'm so happy for him. And then they did nothing with him that I saw. Like, they did nothing. And I thought, I don't know why. I guess there's always a reason. There's so many wrestlers. We could mention so many that were like, what happened to them? Now, it's hard because you don't know the stories. You don't know, is it this wrestler's fault? Are they hard to work with? Or what's going on? Are whatever? Like, you can think of all these reasons. Or does the company just not see something in them? I do not know. And I think that is kind of sad because I think there's a lot of wrestlers that are kind of in that situation where, in both companies, by the way, I'm not just saying in one, where they're kind of just there and that's it. But I do think it sucks if you're told, hey, we're signing you, we're bringing you on, because everybody's going to get their hopes up that, they're going to have work.
Yeah. This is what you're describing is a bunch of wrestlers that fall victim to them only having 4 hours of TV and not having house shows and not having these other outlets for these wrestlers to really click. I mean, they have ROH, which I don't understand why he wasn't being utilized.
Sorry,
over
Reg.
there.
Just want to make a quick correction. It was on Twitter that he posted all of this.
On Twitter. Yeah. There's ROH, which I think Willie Mack would have really filled in over there, and I think he really represents something that could still be on TV. I just always remember this was probably 2009, 2010, something. This was a long time ago. My friend that I came up with, one of my best friends, Alex, in wrestling, he got back into wrestling. He started going to a wrestling school called Mach 1 in LA.
Oh yeah, I know that school. Yeah, I'm very familiar with it.
I remember the first thing he called me and I was like, how did it go? Blah, blah, blah. The first thing he said is, you got to see this guy, Willie Mack. Like, that's the first, like, he didn't even tell me how he did in the thing. He didn't talk about nothing. The first thing he said is, you got to see Willie Mack. You're really going to like him. And so I went to a Mach 1 show probably the next week and I saw Willie Mack and I was like, wow, I'm a big, huge Willie Mack fan. Like, Willie Mack represents exactly what I want to see in wrestling. Like, and as California, like, there's so many connections to why he's great. I've seen him do his thing in PWG, and it's like he earned a spot in AEW doing these things in PWG and being this kind of off the beaten path type wrestler that's awesome, that could represent kids like him. He does all these things, and so it's easy to get lost in the shuffle over there, Denise, like you're describing. We've seen some of the best wrestlers get fucking lost in this. Some of the best wrestlers are sitting back there not working. And I don't know what goes into it. Like, we can get into it, dude. Willie Mack is not a cosmetically regular wrestler that
Yeah, and
people see
fuck
on
that,
TV.
man. I
There's
hate that.
fucking, I hate it.
I hate when people say, "Oh, if this person looks a certain way, we can't do it." That fuck that, man.
that.
You know how many freaking meaty wrestlers are some of the most entertaining freaking people
And
out
what
there?
did I
And you
just
gotta be
say?
scary. You gotta be scary sometimes too. And I think Willie, if they gave him creative, they could have had something there. Like I see him as like a Bronson Reed type, you know?
But
And here's the thing, there's a lot of people here right now that are listening to this podcast and probably think we're overreacting, but that's because they haven't actually gotten a chance to really see Willie. If you've actually seen Willie wrestle, you would be like, holy fuck, this guy can move like that? The hell?
this is what drives me crazy about it, Denise, because there are people that are on this body type. I watch wrestling. I know they go, hot people are on wrestling. It's rare when you see somebody that's not hot. And so seeing Willie, they're probably like, well, he's not hot. He's not this. But what did I just say when I introed him? For me, there's people that look like me. There's people that act like me. There's people that dress like me. There's people that represent something different that I want to see on my TV screens. This doesn't even have to be specific to Willie Mack. It's just like an in general type thing of like a lot of these people look alike, they wrestle alike, they act alike, they're all the same thing. And when somebody's kind of unique and different, they don't get the same kind of love. And it feels like that's where Willie Mack falls into. Now, Denise and I are not on here saying he should have been AEW World Champion. Why isn't he on every pay-per-view? Why isn't he this? It's just like there's a bunch of places that he could be slotted in and have good matches and represent something. And it's not just him, it's a lot of people. It's not just this company, it's a lot of companies where we don't need people wasting away their fucking primes being caught in politics, being caught in games, whatever the story is. It gets very frustrating. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so I think, let me ask you a question. Do you think the bubble has burst of, hey, if I go to AEW, I'm going to become a star?
It's not 100. I mean, I guess it's not just AEW, but it's not like 100%. If 100 wrestlers join a company, 100% of them are not going to be a stars. Maybe 3 of them are going to be a star out of 100. So it's like, that's where it is. It's like, do you want to take a chance? You're now taking more of a chance going to either company at this point, because you can go and immediately get lost in WWE and immediately be in somewhere you don't want to be and never be seen again. But AEW is the same. You could come in, get a couple of nice collision shots, get a couple of this thing, and you're fucking stuck in catering. So it's like, do you want to take the chance? Do you think you have what it takes to go that extra mile, or to convince these promoters and bookers and people that they should put you on TV? What do you have to do to get put on TV? I don't know, Denise.
Right, because
crazy.
It's not just being good anymore. Like you got to make sure that the people in the back like you. Yep. You got to make sure that people are thinking about you, that you're on the forefront of their mind.
Google Trends and shit. Like there's so many things that go into this. Ratings. How the ratings function when you're on TV? How does merch? Like there's just
not
so
even social media. I'd throw that in there. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. What's better though? You still being employed but not being used, but having a job, or being let go and having to go and find someplace else.
The thing about pro wrestlers is a lot of these people came from nothing. Some people's goal is to get in this fucking business and make $1 million, and that's fine with them. But a lot of these wrestlers are wrestlers because they like to fucking wrestle. So if they're sitting on a roster and not being utilized, it's eating away at them. I talk to wrestlers all the time in all companies, and independent wrestlers, pro wrestlers. The main goal is they want to fucking work, no matter what that's trying to be sold, no matter what story is going on, no matter nothing. And if you're sitting away, wasting away your prime, and again, this isn't just a WWE thing, like fucking Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. And there's a lot of guys over there that like you probably would have did better if you used these 10 years somewhere else. But that's just kind of how the thing is. It's like, do you want to play this game? Which game do you want to play, Denise? You want to play this game of like, you could be in AEW. There are people that take independent bookings. Like, I don't know if there's stipulations on how many you can take or what that entails there. So it's like, what is this? And is that a thing too, Denise, for wrestlers? Is it like you get signed to a company, AEW comes and sign you, Denise? Do you continuously work to get better, or are you complacent? Do you, if if
Depends
you're working,
on who you ask, bro.
that's what I'm saying. If you're working there and you're only going half-ass, or you're like, I'm getting the check regardless, what does it fucking matter? And I'm not saying this is a Willie Mack thing, just saying this is a wrestler thing because we're getting into it.
Nah, dude, like, let's say I was a wrestler and right now AEW, WWE, let's just say specifically AEW. AEW is what it is right now. I would be making sure that I was trying to get bookings everywhere whenever I wasn't working with AEW, because basically what I would want is for my name to constantly be in circuit, because out of sight, out of mind. I would be fucking trying to wrestle as many places as I possibly could. I'd be pushing my social media like fucking crazy, man. I would hire my own publicist. I wouldn't go through the company PR. I would hire my own publicist if you can. I don't know what the rules are, but I would hire my own publicist to get me interviews and get me out there, because you gotta be out there. You gotta be seen. And I think there's so many people that are kind of, in the dark. And you gotta do everything you possibly can to be put out there.
And I think some wrestlers don't realize that if you go and tear it up on the indies and you're viral and everybody's talking about you, your boss might see that more than if it's on if you're on Dynamite sometimes. You know what I mean? Like if the fans are talking about you.
You always want what you can't have. Or even if you have that person, you're all of a sudden, it's like, you're dating someone. Maybe you're getting a little bored with them, but all of a sudden this person brings out a hot red dress and you see all these men gawking at her and you're like, oh, that's mine. That's mine.
Because if you guys think that Tony Khan wasn't on the internet and saw Ricky Sosa's entrance where it's going crazy and going ham and didn't think, what the fuck? How come we don't have that? Or like let's create that. This is a thing. I think there's just so many things that go into being signed now and what that entails and what part are you going to play in your destiny. And like Willie Mack might have tried to have all these things. He might have tried to get on the indies. He might have tried to do all these things and it just didn't work out for him. And I guess that's another story for it too, Denise. It's like, do you have to be a main event top guy to succeed in wrestling? Because
no, of course not.
Could Willie Mack retire today and be like, I had a good career? I would think he did, but is he gonna think that?
Yeah, it depends on the person, of course. We got Misfit Wrestling Podcast here. It says Tony Khan really brought back Chris Jericho. Do absolutely nothing, and Winnipeg didn't give a crap. I don't know, man. He just said I'm home, and that's we broke that down. We talked about what that could possibly mean. So maybe it meant a lot, maybe it didn't. I don't know. Thank you. We got Ben Sneffer here who says, I know this is a Dynamite post show, but I have really been enjoying those Royce Keys matches on TV.
Ben, you son of a bitch.
Ben.
There's main event, Ben. There's main event.
Has he been on main event?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben. I feel bad because I don't watch main event, so I don't know.
Nobody does.
I didn't even know it's still on.
What channel does it come on?
It's on a channel?
I think it's on YouTube. Is it?
I
don't even know that. Yeah, I could be making that up too. Yeah.
We got Jacob Tatum here who says, what's next for Swerve Strickland and who is a better ring announcer, Justin Roberts or Alicia Taylor, in your opinion? Plus, did you and Brad play sports in high school? For the ring announcer question, I would say Alicia Taylor because I like her voice. And then what's next for Swerve Strickland? Well, he's out of the championship picture now. I feel like he was messing with someone, but I don't remember who right now off the top of my head.
Kevin Knight?
Kevin
Knight? About something else. That's he's
that would be sick.
Kevin Knight before.
I like that. I like that. That would be good. And then I did play sports in high school. I was on the swimming team, and I was in swimming, I was in drama, I was in dance, and I was in journalism for one day. Believe it or not.
I cared in high school only about pro wrestling, Jacob. Like they'd be like, get on the
little Mark boy.
They'd be like, you like wrestling so much, why don't you get on the amateur team? And I'd be like, that's bullshit. That's not real wrestling. This is about fucking pro wrestling.
You were that person?
1,000%.
Oh, that is embarrassing.
Everybody be like, you like wrestling? Why don't you get on the team? And I'd be like, that shit isn't wrestling, G. What do you mean?
Reg, that is embarrassing.
There's no spot foo out there in that bullshit. Yeah. I was a backyard wrestler. I didn't care. I thought that was better than being a football player.
Wow. Wow, Reg, you were a mark boy.
I mean, the game is the game. I don't know. What do you want from me?
Yeah. Thank you, Jacob. We got Ten Ruza here. It says, I fear Willie might be a Keith Lee situation. Here's my question. What is the Keith Lee situation? No idea. I would swear
Great
this man
question.
fell off the planet Earth. We got Misfit Wrestling Podcast here. It says AEW really signed Willie Mack and Lady Frost to do F. I'll stop signing people you're not going to use. Honestly, yeah, don't get people's hopes up. That's all I'm saying.
It's a hard place to exist in, Denise, because I'm happy to see wrestlers get paid. If you got a consistent money, coming in a contract, that's dope. But I also want to see, I don't want to see them lose the light that they had for the sport and lose some of their prime years kind of sitting on the bench. So it's like,
oh, dude, I would go into a major fucking depression. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I would be so depressed. Like if I was hired somewhere and they didn't use me, I'm sorry. I know everyone's different on this one, but I would be really depressed.
Because some of these wrestlers, Denise, are working like 5 times a week as independent wrestlers. This is what people don't understand. Some of the top independent wrestlers are wrestling 3 or 4 or 5 times a week, and then you get signed and you're wrestling maybe once a month. It's a big, imagine how your brain and your body and all that works, going from 25 bookings a month to 1 booking a month. That's going to weigh heavy on you, especially if you're trying to get better, you're trying to hoop, you're trying to get in front of these eyes, and you don't have the opportunity. It's going to weigh heavy on people's minds.
Thank you, Misfit Wrestling Podcast. We got Grapple Geekery here who says that Willie has been a fave since Lucha Underground. Dude, fuck yeah, man. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's next for him. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if he's the person that I would say, oh, maybe WWE would take a look at him, which they should, but I don't think they would. I think he did a lot in his indie days that if they didn't look at him then, I don't even know that they would look at him now. I
think he had a tryout. There was a thing. He got signed to WWE. I remember going to the PWG show. They had his send-off match, something. I think something went on with his medicals. Like he was signed, and then his medicals, and then he didn't get signed. So I think there was a time where he was going to be there. I don't think that time exists anymore. But there are places for people like Willie Mack. Specifically, everybody's talking about fucking JCW. So like, I think maybe there's some money over there. He's been a juggler for a long time. I think he was their world champion. So he could go over there. There's TNA still, even though they're on some TNA shit sometimes, but it looks like they're giving up some money and could do something. He has kind of history over there. So there are places that aren't just WWE and AEW where he could do his thing.
Yeah, I feel like if TNA made some changes to the way that they present their programming, that could be a hot place again for a lot of these people that are kind of misfits in the sense that they don't really belong. They're not finding their spot in AEW or WWE. Absolutely. And TNA could be that place, but they definitely got to change a lot of what they're doing currently on the show. Yep. We got Ten Ruza here who says they got to do a full AEW women's show. It's deserved.
I think when I was wondering when they were having like the Battle of the Belts and they kept doing those specials, why didn't they just put one on TV? Like it doesn't have to be some crazy thing. Like you can have a random, this Collision is an all women show this week.
I would show up for that.
You know what I mean? Like just make it happen. It doesn't have to be some big hoopla or hoorah thing. People just want to see that. Like Ten Ruza is not the first person to say this and won't be the last person to say this.
Yep. We got Ted Ruza here says MLP is interesting now being on TSN in Canada. I know. Good for them, man.
That's another place
them. Too. That's a hot place over there in terms of Scott D'Amore is obviously running that, and he's he's got a great mind for wrestling. I've always seen that. I've had the pleasure of having him here on the channel a couple of times, and every time Scott D'Amore is talking, I'm like, my mouth is open and I'm learning shit.
he really fucking gets it. Good point bringing up Ten Ruza. That's another place now for wrestlers to wrestle, get on TV, make some money. And Scott feels like the energy that Denise is describing about TNA is like, oh, you lost it because Scott D'Amore was the energy. Because I watched those MLP shows this weekend and I was like, oh, I see where the magic went to.
It's because he knows what like wrestling fans want.
He does. Yeah.
He knows what wrestling fans what they look for. And I think
he's not like an outside guy that came in to do wrestling. He's a wrestling guy that's also doing that part on the other side. So that's why he gets it a little bit different.
Right. So I'm just like, okay, well, hey man, I mean, dude, if they could land something like a deal here in the USA, yo, that'll be like I would put them on my radar to start watching.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think that they have something, and if they could keep expanding and get bigger, it's going to be great for the business, great for wrestlers, great for everybody.
Yeah. All righty. Thank you so much, Ten Ruza. All right. I know this has kind of been a longer post show for today. We do got one more thing to get into, though, because we haven't talked about really, I would say the other really big thing that went down is pretty much the story that we were seeing between Kenny Omega and MJF. Really simple. They had a little bit of a contract signing. You can't have a little bit of a contract signing, but they had their contract signing today. And, you know, Kenny Omega, I was laughing because I felt like Kenny Omega was thinking about all the things he wished he said to MJF last week, and then he finally brought them today. But today, MJF brought up his diverticulitis. Now, I had been wanting Kenny Omega to bring it up, and you want to know why? Last week, Reg, you mentioned something. You said, what is Kenny Omega's why? Why is he going after this AEW World Championship? Why does he want it again? And afterwards, after our show, I did the Busted Open After Dark for AEW. And I thought to myself, oh, fuck, I finally got it. Like, dude, Kenny Omega should have gone out there and said, you know, cut an impassionate program and talk about how, like, he almost fucking died. Like, he didn't know if he was going to be alive. He didn't know if he would ever step into a wrestling ring again. He thought that his passion, his love, his joy, the thing that he's best of was going to be taken away from him. I really wish that Kenny dove into that more and talked about the real truth of like how he felt in that moment when he thought everything was going to be taken away from him. And that's why I'm coming back. I have, you know, found, you know, I'm reinvigorated. I'm here and I want this. And I kind of wish he brought that, because other than that, I kind of feel like he kind of keeps rehashing a little bit of the same thing. And I think there needs to be some work there on Kenny's part with maybe firing us up once again to want him to defeat MJF.
Yeah, no, that's a great point you kind of bring up, Denise, because most of the time we've heard about diverticulitis, this is opponent being like, I'm going to fuck you up in the diverticulitis, instead of him being like, I could have not been here, you guys. They were saying I was about to die. And like, now my motivation is proving the doctors wrong, proving the people that say I couldn't come back wrong, proving myself wrong by coming here and beating MJF and becoming the AEW World Champion once again. Like, that's kind of the story to be told. And they're just kind of telling the story of, they're trying to do this God versus devil thing. And it's like, I see what you guys are doing, but it's like, they're trying to hammer it up too much. And I think that's what you're kind of describing with Kenny Omega, because he hit that strike you down. And it's like, okay, we see that you guys are telling this devil angel story or whatever, but it doesn't have to be so stressed. Like, the draw of this fucking match is Kenny Omega is getting another world championship match against the fucking unbeatable heel that's been talking shit and wants to kill his legacy. But we all as fans and all as AEW longtime fans want to see Kenny get back to it. We want to see Kenny in his last maybe run of his career hit the pinnacle one more time. That's the story. This God versus devil shit is fun. It's a fun marketing thing. But like, the deepest thing is, I want to see these two guys in the ring, because I know that they're going to have a hard ass match and I don't know who's going to win it. And that's the story that should be told.
Exactly. So that's where I'm at with that. And then Speedball and MJF closed out the show. A fun little matchup that they had there. I think the only part that didn't work for me was at the end when when Speedball was basically lying there. You know, I don't think people really cared that Speedball had been taken out like that. No. I feel bad saying that, but I feel like they didn't really like. No one was like, oh man, I'm so sad. Like, this wasn't when like Bryan Danielson was being taken out. People were like, worst thing I've ever seen. I think the emotion from the crowd to what was happening in that particular moment was kind of missing there.
Yeah, they were trying to tell some story. It felt like they were like, oh, this little guy, because the thing earlier when they did have the thing and Mike Speedball came out and was like, this is why Kenny Omega is the greatest of all time. And how dare you talk to this legend? I'm like, is that how they tried to get sympathy on him by having him defend Kenny? And they thought that the Canadian people were going to be like, how could this really nice person do this and get attacked after that? It didn't feel like that because we know Speedball Mike Bailey's a badass, and one little 2 moves from MJF is not going to take him out. Not enough that it's going to cause some kind of concern. It's like, oh, he lost the match to the world champion. He'll be fine. We don't have to do a fucking stretcher angle to act like it was some crazy thing. So I think they just they're continuously trying to add heat to this feud in different areas. When the thing is the champion versus challenger, and they're fucking both badass, dude. Get to the match.
We got Tenruza here who says, also, did you see someone's trying to buy Triller TV? I did not see this. Have you been keeping up with this?
It's actually the homies in Orange Crush that are trying to buy it, I guess, that they put a bid in for it. So, yeah, they're trying to... How much
do you think they're selling for? You think we can afford it?
We might be able to put our couple of nickels together and get there eventually.
What if we do like a community thing? Like where everybody, like we all become like owners.
Not enough. Definitely not enough. Even with our homie John Taylor helping, I still don't think it'll be enough. Yeah.
Man, I do hope someone salvaged Triller TV because there's a lot of good stuff that came out of that.
Mm-hmm.
We got Tenruza here says, we'll be happy if Jay White is back at Double or Nothing All In. I'm tired of predicting Jay White at this point.
Where is he?
I don't fucking know. I'm starting to think Jay White like just left. He's like light years away from us. He left. He left. He's the first person on Mars, guys. Him and Keith Lee. They're out on Mars right now. They're inviting Britt Baker. We don't know what's going on, but they're starting to create civilization in Mars.
Absolutely. But we do want to see him back so soon, but get him back here.
Yeah. All righty, Tenruza. Thank you. Okay, guys. Wow. We had a lot to get into today. Yeah, a long show, but thank you so much to everybody who hung out with us today. Reg, tell the people where they can find you.
Every Wednesday, I'm here with Denise. Thursday, I'll be on with her on Patreon. Saturdays, I'm with Philip Lindsay talking Grapsity. I'll be at GCW on Saturday again to talk some shit in Los Angeles.
Are you going to be here?
No, I'm not going to be here. No,
okay. I was like, are you coming here? Because I completely forgot.
Not coming there. But yes, I will be in Los Angeles.
I'm sorry. You do not want my hospitality.
See you later, a loser. And then I'm going to be in Vegas. You all know that. Promote your Vegas show, Denise.
Las Vegas, viva Las Vegas. Friday, April 17th, 12 noon, Circa Resort and Casino. Your girl is going to be there with CJ Perry, Mackenzie Mitchell, Shotzi. We're going to have an opening comedy act by Chinadu Ogu. Reg is going to be there making a cameo. DeniseLiveshow.com. Get your tickets. We are 16 days away, guys. 16 days of time is winding down. So if you've been, putting this on the back burner, if you've been thinking, I might go, I don't know, now is the time to make the decision. So head on over to Denise Live Show again, Friday, April 17th, 12 p.m. And it's a live podcast with all of these lovely ladies, and as well as Reg is going to be there. And oh man, that's hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a great promotion for you, Reg.
Can't wait.
All right, you guys, that's it for us here today. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Zing, zing, zing.